Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've said it thousands of times in arenas and gymnasiums across the country. There's only one true king of professional wrestling. He's standing right next to me. Jerry the King Lawler, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you, Bert. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Exciting times. We're actually celebrating the legitimate 50 years. What a golden anniversary. I know you cringe at that, but let me tell you, you earned each and one of them. And let me, as far as I'm concerned, no greater athlete has stepped in between that squared circle, between them ropes, than you.
Well, I don't know about that, but I do know that it does make me cringe whenever you say that we're coming up on 50 years of me being in professional wrestling. I remember like it was yesterday that I was just drawing pictures of wrestlers and drew some pictures of Jackie Fargo, and Lance Russell called me up on the phone sitting at my house and asked me to come over to the TV studio there in Memphis, and that's where I got to meet Jackie Fargo, got to meet the other wrestlers, and after a lot of persuading and begging and that sort of thing, Jackie Fargo was the guy that he stuck his neck out and let me have. I promised him, I said, Jackie, if you'll just let me have one match, I'll go back to, he wanted me to be an artist. Yeah, I said, I'll go back to being an artist. I won't bother you anymore. And of course, he let me have that one match, and here it is 50 years later. That was in like the latter part of 1970.
Now, you walked that aisle one time and it was over.
Well, you know what? It's funny. I've never really thought of my career in the sense that I don't know. I just never even thought of it as a career. I've always felt like I was the luckiest person in the world to get to do something and get paid, and it's something that I absolutely love to do. And you're right. I think as most of these young guys here will attest to the fact that once you do ever get a chance to step in a wrestling ring, it's something comes over you that never really goes away, and that's the way it was to me. But I mean, all through the years, they've seemed to just go by so fast, and I've worked with and met so many incredible people throughout my career, and hopefully that because we're having a 50-year anniversary.
You're letting me host that, and I'm honored.
I am letting you host it, and there's a reason for that too, Bert, because I mean, like I said, I've met a lot of fantastic people throughout my career. But you, Bert, have been a close, not just a business partner and acquaintance and that sort of thing, but you've been a close personal friend. And there's not many people that you can say that about in the wrestling business, because it is such a business and there's such a competitiveness. But you, Bert, have been my friend, and it's like a mutual admiration society. I want you to be the person that will put on this show, because I know you'll do it right.
Oh my gosh, thank you. What an honor that is.
Bert.
We will do it right. And of course, your old buddy Glenn Jacobs, the mayor of Knoxville, Kane, says he's going to be here. You name the date. Of course, we had a date, June 6th in Oman Arena, and then all the virus hit, but we are going to have it this year. We may have it out at Jackson General Stadium. We may have it back at Oman, but it is going to happen this year. And I know you have said you'd like any wrestler that ever wrestled in Memphis to come through. But
that would be a lot of wrestlers.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's funny. Just this past week was another anniversary. It was the anniversary of me introducing to the world and to the World Wrestling Entertainment a dentist of mine. I had a Kiss My Foot match with Bret the Hitman Hart that didn't go too well for me, and I had this bad taste in my mouth. So I brought in a dentist that I knew named Isaac Yankem.
Sure did.
And Isaac Yankem got his start in the WWE, and he's the guy who a little bit later on became Kane, one of the most famous wrestlers ever in the history of WWE. And for him to say that he appreciates our friendship through the years, and for him to say that he's going to come and be on the show is going to be awesome.
He said there'd be no place he'd rather be, but we're hearing from a lot of legends, and I think we're going to do you proud, and we're going to fill whatever venue we're in. I just got one question before we go, and I don't know if you've ever been asked this. I've never asked you this, but I always wondered. Back in the day when it was sellout after sellout after sellout at Mid-South Coliseum, what was your life like? I mean, because a lot of people said you were hotter than Elvis because you had more sellouts in that building. No, but I know he didn't play it that often. But what was life like when you knew that you were going to wrestle in arenas that couldn't hold the crowds?
That's what I was talking about before. When I look back on my career, I mean, people ask me today, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want people to think about your career? And I swear to you, this is the honest to goodness truth, I never looked at it that way. I honestly looked at it as a job that I went to day in and day out. I didn't when I went to the Mid-South Coliseum and wrestled in front of 11,500 people there. I went home that night and I didn't even think about the match anymore. It wasn't where I went home and thought about, man, was that a 5-star match? I mean, I didn't even hear those words till a few years ago. But
And about the 3,000 people that didn't get in.
yeah, but it was all of those years, and I think probably maybe that was in my favor in the fact that I don't want to say this and make this sound bad, but I never took it so serious. I was always having fun. It was just always I loved, like I said, going to work every day and going to meet different people and meet different new fans.
The fans knew you loved them. That's why they loved you back.
Well, I mean that was true. I mean, a lot of the wrestlers don't realize that without the fans out there and the fans right here, we're nothing. I mean, there wouldn't be wrestling if you didn't have the fans. So,
Well, not only that, and a lot of people, and you're going to get mad at me and you're going to yell at me when I get behind that curtain, but a lot of people don't know because years and years and years, this man was at hospitals day after day, no cameras, and I know what he has personally of his wealth given away to people. And here's a sad story, because I've personally delivered the money to families that have lost homes and stuff. I mean, you've been there for the folks, and that's why they love you back. But you weren't just red hot, you were white hot in Memphis.
well, Memphis was so special, and yeah, I do. I feel so fortunate to come along at a time and last for so long in probably the most special, and not just Memphis, because Jackson, Tennessee, and the whole Western Tennessee, Tennessee in general was red hot wrestling. And I mean, we wrestled on Monday night and Saturday morning in Memphis. Then we come up here on Thursdays and wrestle in Jackson. We go on Wednesdays and wrestle up in Nashville. We wrestled all over the state of Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas. And you're right, at that time, every Saturday, people tuned in their TVs. They got up at 11 o'clock in the morning and they watched wrestling.
Wasn't there at one time 7 out of every 10 TV stations, every TVs that were on were watching? That's incredible.
It is incredible. I mean, that's well, you got to give it.
That was you.
Well, no, it wasn't me.
Yes, it was.
Absolutely not. It was not me. I mean,
Yes.
so many great wrestlers came through Memphis, and so many great wrestlers were there before me. The fabulous Jackie Fargo, Tojo Yamamoto, Don and Al Green, the interns with Dr. Ken Ramey. I mean, I can go back and sit and think about the great wrestlers, Sputnik Monroe, all of these great guys that
Mrs. Goulis's husband.
Yes, absolutely. Hey there. I mean, all of these great wrestlers that I used to, when I was just in high school, sitting at home on Saturday morning like everybody else, turning on the TV and watching these guys.
Casey's giving me the old rap, but I want to take one little last thing. Folks, who's going to be at his 50th anniversary show? Yeah, 100%.
I guess I'll be there too then.
He'll be there too. Jerry the King Lawler, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back after this word.